All right, hello everyone, and welcome on into my stream. I'm DC. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram under DC Lasair. That's DCLASAIR. If you enjoy this content, hit the subscribe button down below there, or go to my coffee, Ko-Fi, thatthing.com/Hadomancer. Type Ko-Fi in chat. Yeah. I have subscription tiers and all sorts of fun stuff. If you subscribe to me monthly, you get access to a Discord, which will get a lot of random thoughts on things, or very specific thoughts on things, like D&D and video games, and things like that. So please check that out. If you're new here, hi! I'm a producer over at Gilding Light and some other channels here on Twitch. I moderate a bunch of places on Twitch, so if you see me, come say hi. I'll say hi back, more than likely. And I'm, as that badge says up there, I'm an ambassador for Jasper's Game Day for 2022. And you can type !you matter in my chat and get a list of resources for suicide prevention. I will be doing charity streams for Jasper's Game Day throughout next year, so please keep track of my Twitter to find out when those are. Thursdays on twitch.tv/gildinglight, I run a D&D 5e game called The Inspectors. We're doing one-shots for the rest of the year, so please check those out. That'd be fantastic if you did, and we'll get back to the regular series in the new year. So this week we're doing All Dragonborn. Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun. Come by, check out our one-shots. That's at 4 p.m. Pacific over on Gilding Light's Twitch. So come by, say hi. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about roles in D&D streams and things like that. And to set this up a bit, yesterday, let's see, Saturday night, I was invited into a charity stream because they needed someone to produce and play at the last minute, and it happened last night. So I'm like, oh boy, okay, I'll do it. And I had fun. It was great. They gave me everything I needed to get the stream going. It was a wonderful experience, right? And so I had a cleric, a forge cleric in mind, because we were looking for an item. So to me, hell, forge cleric looking for an item, cool. But I really didn't know like the voice I was going to use or much about the character because I had, only a few hours to get everything prepared and ready to go. Because producing a stream and playing and running, it's a lot. And I do it often, but it's still a lot, especially when you're in a group of people that you only know one or two and you've kind of played with them before, and then you're in a different group and they have their dynamic and you don't know that dynamic. And so I was thinking about this, and this more has to do with your role as in your characterization of a character. So as we're going through intros and everything, I realized that, all right, we have, the people I know being characters that, all right, yeah, they're those things, great. And then we have two people doing, tiny voices, and that's fine. So I'm like, okay, you have already two people doing the voices that they're doing, like the however people perceive tiny and the way they're speaking and intelligent. So what I do often is I'll play and this is just the term for it, because it's, basic comedy term. I'll play the straight man. I'll be the person who's the serious guy that is more focused on the goal and just pushing forward things than necessarily playing up the comedy, because other people are already doing that, right? And plus, it was a new group, and or it was a new group to me, and they had their dynamic set. And so while they're playing off each other, even though this was one shot and completely different characters, they still knew how to run with each other, right? I didn't. So in that moment, I'm like, okay, so it's best if I'm more the if I'm more the straight man in this case. The Bud Abbott, if you will, out of Abbott and Costello. Hey, hi Ty, how you doing? Glad you could come on in. And so, and I really didn't, I kind of knew, okay, I was a Dragonborn, I was probably going to do a little grumbly voice, and that worked, but I didn't feel the need to really press into jokes or puns or anything because everyone else was kind of doing that. And I think that helps feed into the dynamic of a stream where these are the, especially just coming in last minute, everyone else around me is who the viewers are coming in to see, right? And so what can I do to sort of support that and, make somewhat of an impact in game and be engaged and play and push things forward while producing the stream at the same time, and and just let them be them without also trying to be like one of them. And that was really a last minute decision you have to make. And now when you're playing at a group of people amongst friends on a just, at a non-stream game, that's fine. Go whatever direction you want. But sometimes you need to look at the balance of what's going on stream and figure out what is best for the audience and best for this particular group. And at the time, in my mind, whether this was the right or wrong decision, I felt being more the Bud Abbott, more the straight man out of the Abbott and Costello thing would work better. And I don't know what they actually thought of my playing or anything like that, but we all seemed to have fun. So, yay, that was good. And I had fun. And, we're raising money for charity. So, there it was. That was a good time had by all. And I think this is something that should be thought of a little more is if you're going into a game kind of cold, like last minute, like I was, yeah, try to get that stream dynamic down. And even if you have to change how your character would normally play, just be different. Remember, the people you're with are the people that need to shine, because the audience may not know you, may not be there for you. They'll, accept you and be there for you, but they're kind of there for everybody else. And being in support of that is sometimes difficult because you have a concept, this character, you've always played this character this way, but be willing to change that if it serves the dynamic of the group. And that's okay to do. Maybe you're not playing that character the same way you've always played him. Fine. It's okay. It's just this one instance of this character. I mean, there's variants, there's clones. We can do this, right? Yeah. So, yeah. And don't be afraid to try something different with the character. Maybe you find something you kind of like about doing it slightly different and you incorporate some of that into how you regularly play them. And that's fantastic. That's great. Because now you've taken a character, either, if it's a character you've played before, now you've taken a character, you've given them another dimension. Yay! Character growth by playing it just slightly different with a different group of people can make all the difference. And if you take that character elsewhere, that's fine. Now, in this particular case, I just made this character, I took about an hour or so and just made up a Forge Cleric. And I go through, I make all these decisions, and we had to select magic items and things like that. it was fun. So I kind of have like a low grumbly voice I do. So I used that because that just fit the character and was good for what I was doing at the time. And it didn't need to be this. It didn't need to be high pitched. It didn't need to be too small or too squeaky because these things were covered, right? And so find out what is, if you can, find out what is necessary for the group. I mean, what the group does. What find out? Yeah, I'm saying this completely wrong. Figure out what the group does, and figure out how you can either help enhance that or what's missing to go in there. Uh, you can come in with a solid idea for a character, but for a stream, be prepared, even at the last minute, to change it up. Be prepared to do something different than you originally thought. And you can take that idea that you had for that character and use it elsewhere. But if you enjoy that character and you still want to play it, don't be stuck with a certain mindset for it the whole time. You can adjust things. It's okay. And Alex, hello, welcome on in. Glad you're here. Talking roles in D&D streams. If you have any questions about D&D, playing D&D, or what I do on a D&D stream between producing and DMing or producing and playing, please ask them in chat. Now's your time. Plus, also, when I play more the straight man or the Bud Abbott, if you will, in a game, it helped me to focus a little more because I had my attention split between the multiple things that producer does. I don't know if anyone else runs into this, but I have 3 monitors here. I have different things on all 3 for a stream, and my eyes are constantly going back and forth between 3 monitors. Not that I'm not paying attention to what's going on screen, but I have to make sure everything else is working on the stream. So yeah, if you see me turning my head or my eyes going back and forth, it's because I'm looking at something else briefly, just to make sure you all can see, hear, and and the players have everything they need going on. Wait, you play D&D? Yeah, a little sometimes. I've only played D&D for 20 some years. That nothing, just a little bit. So yeah, and that was another part of my challenge yesterday is new group, okay, and I want to do a good job producing the stream because, well, one was for charity, and two, I like producing things, uh, and character, and it just made a lot of sense to sort of be the straight man, if you will, in the comedy team duo sense of the term, for that day. So yeah. So that's my big rant on that. Let's see. What else can we cover about roles? There's also, if you're the other part about roles is we're looking at, the idea of a tank and a DPS and that type of thing. And sure, you can do that. I think the advantage of tabletop games is that, especially with D&D and a lot of the subclasses they've brought out in recent years, you can use other classes you would traditionally think of as DPS, let's say, and they can do a little bit more than that now. You can have a frontline warlock with the hexblade stuff. You can do that. So don't be afraid to reach out and look at different ways you can play the character too. There's a lot of options, and now that Tasha's Cauldron of Everything came out, and you have the whole lineage concept and how you can put your bonuses in different places, your characters can be much more dynamic now, and so take advantage of those rules and kind of be what you want to be because you can. And I love that in TTRPGs, you can generally be tanky as non-tank roles. I have played a Hexblade in medium armor with melee weapons. Big fun. Yeah, exactly. And that's a lot of fun. And I focus on D&D because I know D&D the best. And there's lots of other games and lots of other ways to do this, obviously. But it's just D&D is what I have the most experience in. So I'm going to talk about D&D more. I've played a lot of other role-playing games, but my focus has just been on D&D because, yeah, I tend to swim in the D&D pool a lot. Uh, and yeah, and sometimes I'll also go for on a stream game. I'm like, you probably need a healer, right? Yeah, so I'll propose a cleric first, and if they already have a cleric, I'll have another character just waiting in the background. Like I had my Forge Cleric, and I had a Clockwork Soul Sorcerer. Now, someday I'll play that Clockwork Soul Sorcerer, but yesterday was not the right time to do that because someone to heal was helpful and a lot of fun. Yeah. So, and if there's a D&D book supplement to pick up, I really recommend giving Tasha's a look over. I really like what they've done with the sort of rules expansions and being able to customize your lineage as they call it now, and just placing those bonuses anywhere so you can be the dragonborn with the high wisdom or whatever you want, and that adds to your class more because that's what you learned. You weren't the dragonborn doing the pull-ups all the time. You're not as strong as others, but you're still effective, just in a different way, right? You learned. You're the wizard dragonborn, for example, and Tasha's has plenty of options to let you do that. And so, yeah, if there's a book to recommend that's come out recently, definitely Tasha's. Take a look at Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. It's great what you can do with it. And let's see. Uh, could talk about producing streams too, indie streams, because as I said, I'm fortunate enough to have 3 monitors here, and so I'll have whatever's playing music, whether that be Spotify or most of the time Sirenscape. So I'll have those windows in one thing just to make sure they're working. My headphones in is listening to what's going out to the stream through my audio board and everyone's voices so I can mix in the sound and it not overtake the people talking and that everyone's loud enough for everything. And I have OBS, which I use to broadcast things, so that's up on another monitor. And then also I'll have the actual web browser, the Twitch stream up in a monitor too. And so I'm looking at that, making sure chat's okay, and if mods need help doing something, I can step in, I can hit a button, I can ban a person, I can untime out, whatever. But it's there. And then I'm also in another window, I have the Zoom call or the Google Meet or whatever. So I can look at the cast and say, hey. And usually I keep the center monitor on my 3 just because my camera is right up there. And so I can provide eye contact with the cast and with you, for example, if I just keep looking straight ahead. And hey Herb, hi, welcome on in. So yeah, so I can keep looking, and I've placed my monitors and such in my camera so that when I look this way, it looks like I'm looking at chat, which is over there. Panther Lilycat, hello, welcome on in. So I try to position myself in such a way where it's either on the overlay as the DM. When I look this way on screen, it looks like I'm looking at the players and or at chat. And I think that's helpful because it establishes some sort of contact. And then I can just also look ahead and be directly facing everyone too. So having a couple angles without actually having different camera angles is another great thing to keep in mind as you're looking around and thinking about things and providing just sort of this subconscious interaction with people, with your audience. And let's see what else. What else do I have up running? Oh yeah, and if you're producing a stream, test as much of the audio before you go on as you can. There's something that most likely is always going to go wrong because it's live and internets are weird and Windows or Macs are just have their own problems going in, and there's a bunch of non-standard things that you're all plugging into everything, trying to make it work. So something somewhere might go wrong. It's not like you're in a controlled studio environment where you can know every single piece of the puzzle. You can only know your pieces of the puzzle when you're doing remote stuff. And so do the best you can with what you have, right? You know, not everyone has a green screen, which is fine. Not everyone has this or that. Brilliant. It's okay. But yeah, be prepared to work with that. And it takes time to figure out things that go wrong. Uh because when it happens the first time, you may not know what to do, and that's okay. You'll know what to do for the next time it comes wrong, because a lot of times things have to happen, and it'll be live on stream, and you have to have that experience of something going wrong live on stream to be able to make a better recovery next time, and just realize that happens, and it's okay. You can keep going. You're fine. Audio checks are important for sure. Something I would also suggest is to record the Zoom call. Yes. Very much a top of the call, reminding people of any issues from last time so we can check them. Oh, yeah. But once you're in the moment of the stream, things happen and you recover. Exactly. So growth will happen. And, you know, you can think you're prepared for something, but until it actually happens, yeah, your plan may or may not work. And so just realize there's going to be moments like that. And again, it's okay. It's okay because you're working with a lot of moving parts that you don't have necessarily have control over. Uh, so how to put a temporary fix in? How to go? Okay, we'll put up. I have this person's art ready, so if their call drops or if everyone's windows get scrambled or whatever, we can put something up that's interesting for people, or they can just watch it live happen, right? Watch it fix, watch you fix it live. It's great. It's fine. It's okay for what we're doing. Uh, now I've worked to try to minimize as much as possible, but I also have been through those mistakes I just talked about too. And so someone tells you about something and it's producing, yeah, listen to them. They might help you out because I mean, not only are you dealing with stuff that you have no control over, but you're dealing with a lot of moving parts on your end too. that may just not work for some reason because Windows decides to drop your audio source out of OBS. Why? It it's Monday and the moon is slightly to the left. Things like that happen, and here to tell you, it's okay. You can recover. Just don't panic about it. You got it, and just have a couple solutions in mind if you can. And it's funny because it's true. Yeah, right. Like I don't. Sometimes tech just stops, and I have no idea why. I worked as a I mean, I've been in video production for various aspects of it for over 20 years, right? And so I used to do a lot of tape duplication and a lot of old film archiving, so 8 millimeter, 16 millimeter to DVD, Super 8 to DVD. Let's see here. If you're live on stream and can't figure something out, just take a breath and ask. Chances are there's someone in your chat that has dealt with that before. Exactly. Don't be afraid to ask for help if you can. Uh, but, and add to that, if you know your community, ask specifically certain people in chat so your chat doesn't just fill up with a bunch of things. Let's see. I'm much more forgiving of streamers than people on conference call with audio issues, to be honest. Yep. And so, I was talking about doing tape duplication and DVDs, and I've the amount of different types of media I've dealt with, analog media, digital media, is most people just will never do this. Especially because a lot of those types of media aren't around anymore, and you're also not archiving older medias like reel-to-reel audio tapes to CD or anything like that. And we had all this equipment, right? And some days it just won't work. Why? No clear reason. And so on analog stuff, a lot of times the fix was taking your fist and just pounding the top of it, and problem solved. You really can't do that now that we're all sort of digital age stuff, because there's a lot of delicate parts in your computers and they break easy. But you'll have those times on a stream, and it's okay because it happens a lot. And it's okay. Like I said, take your breath, ask ask your cast members in your private Zoom chat, or your Google Meets chat, whatever chat interface you're using. If you have multiple people on stream, uh, point to specific people in your community audience and say, "Hey, I know you know about this. Do you happen to know this thing?" And just look for that person's answer if you can, because in a way we have the unusual step of being all connected, being live, being with each other, and we have this unique opportunity of always being a community that's active and with each other and for each other and supportive of each other. And that's not something you get anywhere else. You can watch TVs and movies and whatever media, but only in this sort of format do you get an audience where you can have that instantaneous feedback and have the support and the trust of people within your community. And nothing like that has functioned in this way basically ever. And so there's still a whole lot of learning to do as well in this media, as the older media companies that are used to working in those particular ways still do those things. And even though, Twitch has been around how many ever years it's been around, it, this type of interaction is still relatively new to compared to everything else. And that's also, I think, part of the nervousness of big things like that is in if you're not in a studio setup where you have the $10,000-$20,000 equipment, stuff's gonna fail on you, and you have to know that's just the medium you're working in, and that's okay. Filmed in front of a live studio and talkative audience, basically. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, and if you can look more polished, by all means, go for it, and realize that what you're doing on your stream is pretty polished too. It's different expectations for a different medium. We're in a different space. We're not in a, I guess, more traditional space like a normal television program or movie or radio broadcast or anything. It's just different here. And a lot of us want to just take those old things and just have them apply right onto this. And we need to adapt some of those old things and not just shove them in. And I think sometimes that's what a lot of companies might even be nervous about, is that it's hard to glom onto something new and experience it and be able to go, okay, how can we do this? How can we make money? Where's what we're looking for, when most of the time, most of us are not going to have those big expensive cameras and all that stuff. And that's fine, because you can have perfectly acceptable content with, my webcam, my Elgato lights, just stuff. Now, I've put a little more money into this than normal, I admit. But yeah, you don't need the $20,000 stuff to make a great experience for people. Don't be afraid to turn on that mic and go for it. The biggest thing you need is clear audio, and so make your first investment a good mic and an all right webcam. Go. If you just want to do a podcast, get an all right mic. Crave said she's afraid of turning on the mic and going. Look, I going live is a big step. If it doesn't look as good as Crit Roll or Dimension 20, that's okay. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, no one's ever going to be Crit Roll again. They are, in the bell curve of streaming, they are the outliers, right? And it's fine. You can be very successful and not look like those places and not have the time to edit like they do and build everything like they do. And you can still have a good time, a good community, a good audience. There's a lot of things you can do. And I'll get back to Crave in a second here. And by the way, Crave made the lovely hermit crab fortune cookie thing that you've seen me put on. I don't have it ready to go in this view, but I'll put it on by there. And so definitely check out their art. If I can dig them up real quick. Here we go. I'll just pop their link into chat here. and she has kindly let me use the fortune cookie hermit crab for streaming purposes, and I really appreciate that. So check out her art; it's great. So being afraid of turning the mic on and going, yeah, I had a big problem with public speaking for a long time, and now look, I'm talking to groups of strangers on the internet. Exactly. And what I started with was DMing was sort of my first experience streaming, and I just trusted in the story I was telling. I knew I could DM. I had done it for my friends for a while, and I just went, okay, this is what I know, and I'm going to trust those instincts to carry me through, and it worked out. So know what you're going to talk about, have it sort of in you, and trust those instincts of what you know about, because people will listen. People will come in and want to know about what you're doing, especially if you have passion about it. People will come in, say hi, and talk to you. So, turning the mic on and go isn't necessarily just being spontaneous off the cuff. It's, okay, here's things in the back of my mind and being ready and having an idea and then turning on the mic and going, right? So it's not just all complete improv off the top of your head things. Thanks for the plug. She loves it. Oh yeah, anytime. Good. I like promoting good art. Speaking of which, I do have 2 new emotes coming in, probably within next couple weeks or so. So please look out for them. They'll be fantastic. I'm very excited. Got to see some of the preview art, and that's all our podcasting is basically. Also, vague ideas, then banter, right? Here's a couple things, but yeah, um, as much as people say write what you know and that type of advice, trust what you know and go with that, and you'll find an audience. If you can deep dive into something, yeah, start going, start making it. You'll find ways to make it interesting, trust me. And from my end, I do all sorts of things. Like I'm wearing cat ears right now, right? I do all sorts of weird things because I love it. And there was a guy in the early days of television named Ernie Kovacs, and he did a lot of brilliant stuff. Just things you didn't see for another 20 years on TV. He had little models moving, and his musical timing was brilliant. Everything, I look at that and I say, wow, okay, what can we do in the streaming space? And so my version of that is, I have a self five, I have a council of me come up, right? Because this makes me happy and I don't see it other places. So I do this stuff. And I just trying to think of things that are in my unusual wheelhouse and to present just something a little different, something a little new, and and that just make me smile. And I'm very happy with all that. All right. So that went in different ways. Okay, that was awesome. We started talking about D&D, and anyone want to talk more about D&D, producing things, anything like that? Any other comments on that? Otherwise, I may take a break, get a drink, and go into the game because it's been about an hour. So we have time. If there's nothing else, I'll go into that. I'll wait for the lag of commenting on stuff, unless I think of anything else right away. And by the way, if you ever get to check out Ernie Kovacs on anything, hi Kurt, which D20 is your favorite D20? Well, I'm going to say it's my upcoming emote That's a 20. But no, my favorite D20 I don't have in front of me, but I spent money on dice and I got level up dice, the holographic set, or not holographic, what do they call it? Glyph set. That's like opalite. That's amazing. Really like that. I also like anything emerald type or jade type colors. Yeah, I'm into that. The other thing on dice is, can I read the numbers? Because if it's like black on black, I can't read that. There's nothing. Outline that one. Let me be able to read it. Think they have a white jade at LUD? Ooh. I'll have to look into that. I've turned down so many dice sets because I can't read them. Exactly. I mean, there's dice. I'm like, that's lovely. I can't tell if that's a 1 or 11. Um, so I'm always looking at dice. So as much as I love the premium dice, don't get me wrong. If I have the money to spend on them, I probably will. Uh, on on the things I pour money into in this hobby, most of it goes to dice sets. If I'm honest. Um, and But yeah, make those numbers readable because my eyes are, I have to wear glasses sometimes, and dice that can see through without the numbers colored are just horrible. Yes. Yep, exactly. So readability is just big thing. And another thing I have to consider is one of my friends that I play with is colorblind. So if I'm buying him dice, I have to put in my mind what his color blindness is, and then avoid the dice that are those colors, right? And that can be hard too, um, because he has to also be able to read it because of his eyesight as well. So I need dice that are friendly to his colorblind and have large numbers on them, and that's hard to find dice like that sometimes, because they're not. The staff at the game store goes, "Oh yeah, that's good. But we don't have you know any sort of separation for colorblind folks. Here's just our jumble of dice, right?" Uh, and so, dice shopping for them as a present, like, hey, here's a set of dice, and I know you can read it, and they look cool. So here, if it's like his birthday or something. And yeah, I need to be able to read the numbers. Getting back into it, the ones, and when I go to a con, and if I'm running games at a convention, I I don't know who's going to be at my table. I don't know these people. So I will bring dice that are just your stark black and white, and that your D20s, D10s, and I looked for a couple sets. So I have a couple sets I can bring. So should you need to be able to have a color blindness of any kind, here's some dice you can probably use. And so that's part of my kit that I carry if I'm running games at a con for people I don't know. I've done that at two local cons here. One was for Extra Life a few years ago. Now that was fun. I ran D&D for 9 hours that day. That was our local Extra Life game day. That was fun because Extra Life was just this weekend, so Extra Life's a bit on my mind. Uh, and then also ran at another. We have another gaming convention here that's I ran for strangers on too, and I just brought out those dice because I thought, hey, nice thing to do. Yeah. Cool. All right. So we dove into dice. Yeah, I can dive into dice. Somewhere I have a D30 because the very, very first game I ever played used a D30. It was called Teleslanta. And I know there's like a fourth edition of this stuff you can find now, but this was the late 90s. And so a friend of mine was like, yeah, here, we need to do this, and you need one of these. And he gave me a D30. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then that game fell apart quickly. And then my other friend in that group took over and started running Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, second edition. Ooh. So I learned up with the wonders of Thaco, which I have always not liked. It's fine if you like it, go for it. That's your jam, fine, but I've never ever liked it. And both these things are okay, just to let you know. Uh, again, talking about things being okay, those type of difference of opinions are also okay. You can like and not like things about rule sets. So happy I missed Thaco days. Yeah, I just it was always weird to me and cumbersome, especially because everything else was you have to, get higher, and then when it came to armor class, it was lower. So you had this weird, two mechanics here, like, oh, hitting the higher number is great, except in this case where you want the lower number to happen, onto you, and it's like, wait, what? Why? And so when third edition came out, and they go, no, you always just need the higher number. It made things so much easier. Like, okay, great. Need the always need the higher number. Yay. I can get that. I'm not, and it's little optimizations like that maybe sometimes you don't think about, but splitting your mechanics up too much will get at people and will cause confusion, even a little bit like that. Oh, hey, look at that. It's time for a ban. All right. Awesome. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. They've taken to whispering too. Da-da-da. Let me take care of that. All right. All right. Thanks for sticking with me through that. Let's see. Anything else we can go over in D&D topics or dice or anything around D&D or stuff around D&D, accessories? One of the players in the Tuesday D&D game that I'm in has a I survived that t-shirt. That's amazing. I love that. So for those that don't know, it stood for 2 hit armor class 0. And there was a chart you had to look up. And you had to hit below certain numbers. And for me, it was messy. And yeah, third edition was like, I love this. Thank you. Crave mentioned that she thought the character sheets might be a bit more difficult to read than the dice for some people. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really like 5th edition because having gone through uh, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and I even played some of 1st edition because someone, a friend of mine at the time was running, decided to go, hey, let's play 1st edition. We all knew 3.5 is the thing out at the time, but Want to try first edition? I'm like, sure, why not? Fifth edition does so much better job of making things accessible and easier for people to just sort of glom onto compared to all the other editions. I, yeah, I really think it's the most accessible edition of Dungeons and Dragons we have. And again, it's okay if you like other editions. Fourth was the pinnacle of it for you. By all means, keep playing fourth. I had fun in it. I had fun in every edition I played. I just really like fifth. you know, the the mechanics don't interfere with my brain as much as I don't have to stop and think about all these little things like I did with Thaco, and it for me and how I think and everything, it just kind of drove me up a wall. And so as soon as everything was more streamlined, and like I said, that jumped from second to third, where it was always, yeah, you always have to just beat the number. I'm like, light shone upon my head, and everything came by. The thing people don't understand in edition discussions is that if you prefer a previous edition, the Wizards of the Coast won't have the gaming police show up and take your old books. Play what you like. Exactly. By all means, play what you like. This is just a hobby. Have fun with it. Do what you love. No one's around to stop you from doing it. You know, it's okay. It's okay that I like what I like. It's okay to like what you like. We're good. We're fine. No, that's what GW does. Right. uh, So yeah, let's see. The thing people, I want to make sure I got through this whole comment. The thing people don't understand, in addition to discussions, that if you prefer previous edition, Wizard of the Coast won't have the gaming police show up and take your old books. Play what you, yeah. And I've used material and concepts from old books in fifth edition games. I have some second edition stuff, and I occasionally pick it out and go, oh, there's some good ideas in here. And so I've taken those, and some of those has made their on their way to the Inspectors, the live stream game I run on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/gildinglight. Uh, brief plug. And yeah, so also look at some of those old source books too if you just want some ideas on things. There's some great books, especially in AD&D, the complete books of I think they were called the complete books of like Paladin and Rogues or whatever they said at the time. Or the complete fighter's handbook, something like that. Those are great. And the Encyclopedia Magica, also fantastic for a wide variety of spells and spell effects. You can look up and you can find a lot of these uh, online on eBay at your local gaming stores if they have old D&D sections. Go through those and just flip through the books, find some that are interesting, go for it. I know I know it isn't super popular for most people, but there are things I really enjoyed about fourth edition of D&D. Yeah, there was things I liked about it too. That was fourth edition was probably one of the longest sustained campaigns I played in, and I had a really good time. And admittedly, the other thing I have trouble with is if a new system comes out and I'm liking it and I read it, everything about the old system just kind of goes out the brain. So I just like, I don't need that info. It's time for it to go. So I could not run a game in any other edition right now. No idea how it works. I like that all minions just had 1 HP. I just thought it was a neat mechanic. Yeah, I like that too. And to sort of replicate that, I do sort of, I this might be in a 5th edition book somewhere too. The just like a swarm mechanic where you have a large group of enemies that all essentially have 1 hit point, and then when you hit into the swarm, you're essentially knocking one of them out of there, and so then you can reduce, how much damage they do because they have 1 less creature attacking you type thing. But yeah, that's a pretty good one. I liked, and there's some other concepts in other editions I like that I like them, and I still have the feeling that those were for those editions, and I don't really carry them over too much. Like I said, I I can't run a game in any other edition than 5th, and if there's ever another edition of D&D, everything in 5th edition is just gonna go. I'm just gonna say, don't need this, and it's out the door because why? um, Unless I'm like, nope, 5th edition is the thing all the time. Um, Never used to, and oh, and going back briefly to uh, mechanics and where you always roll up the dice. Also in the more recent Call of Cthulhu games, or the what's the thing Chris Spivey did, the Haunted West. Oh, check out the Haunted West. Is that the dice mechanic is consistent in that you're rolling 2d10. You're rolling your percentile die, and you're always rolling under it. And then there's if you get in so much of range or fail by so much, it isn't too complicated to figure out. It's you kind of always want under that, and so those type of gaming mechanics I find completely valuable. It's when you change how the math works, and it's just the change of addition to subtraction, nothing more than that, and it's like this extra step, and it adds just a little bit to the pile of things you gotta keep in mind, and if you can take away that, that's one less thing you have to worry about, that people you want to play the game have to think about, and can just enjoy your game more. So yeah, I'm in any game where it's, either always up or always down. Let's see, Call of Cthulhu 7e does have some roles where you don't strictly want to succeed, whatever success means. Oh, and hello and welcome on in. I don't believe I've seen you in chat. If I have, I apologize. Hope you're doing okay. Let's see, that looks like Kratos M. Is that close? That'll work. Okay. Well, welcome on in. Glad you're here. Yeah, and by the way, speaking of Chris Spivey, check out Chris's work. Especially I really want to run the Haunted West campaign he's doing. Darker Hue Studios is the production company. I'll link that here. Brilliant stuff. Just really good. And yeah, I'm getting into the Haunted West material. It's really good. Uh, so check that out. And there's a real sense of history and how to deal with that. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. All right, let's see. Okay, anything else around those topics? Otherwise, I'm going to take a break and then we'll get into Grim Dawn. Or if you have something else like that after I come back from break, we can keep going on this topic and I don't have to play a video game. Haunted West is Ghost Cowboy, I hope. There's a bit of that, yeah. There's a bit of that, but okay, so I kind of like the Haunted West vibe of things. DC Comics, I like the idea of Jonah Hex, and so Haunted West kind of plays into that for me a little bit, and Yeah, that's fun. But I'm going to take a break. I'll be right back. If we want to continue talking about those things, that's fine. I don't have to play a video game if everyone's just into the talking bits. So we can keep talking. Yay. And yeah. So I'll see you soon. There'll be some BRB screen, there'll be some music, there'll be some ads. Give me around 5 minutes or so, and we'll come back, say hello. See you soon. And hello. Welcome on back. Oh, I forgot the ears. I'll put those on. Ah, all right. Thank you. Oh, I was thinking that there was another RPG system I wanted to talk about. Uh, Mostly because, hey, my name's in the back of the book. Um, if you buy the book, but all the rules are completely free for it online. And it was sort of my first moderating thing that I did. And when the rules were originally being formed, I contributed quite a bit to the community. So that's why my name's in the back of the book. If you buy the book, it's called Open Legend RPG, and you can find it right there. All the rules are free. They do an exploding dice mechanic, which is a lot of fun. It's as it says, it's an open system, so you can do what you like. You can theme things how you like. I ran a whole post World War II campaign using the Open Legend RPG system. I really like sort of between wars and Cold War stuff. So from between World War II and when the Cold War started up, that's when I placed this campaign. And there were robots and other dimensions and a bunch of other great stuff I love. But yeah, it was all using the Open Legend rules. So check that out. I mean, it's free unless you buy the book because the book has a lot of great art in it if you buy the book, and you can see my name in the back of the book. Um, yeah, but I really enjoy the Open Legend system as well. Uh, Out of the sort of open, you can do anything with systems. This one of my favorites. Let's see. Else. And you know what? I'm gonna plug my friend as well. Made his own RPG. My name's in this book too. See here, he called it. Yeah, there it is. See if I can just get to the one link. There we go. So yeah, my good friend made his own RPG book, and he hasn't done much with it since. He made this. Oh, it's been years now. Let's see if I can find a year. Yeah, so 2011 is when this was published. But I did all the because he was my friend. I did all the play testing and everything. It's called Archetype, and it uses a tarot card system to do actions and if you pull major, minor arcana, and what that means. So yeah, it's called Archetype, and that was a lot of fun. My name's also in that book, uh, so check that out too. If you like that type of things, like I said, he got a little discouraged by what was going on with it, but it's a pretty solid game, and he found some good art in it too. He I have to say with Archetype, he worked really hard on just the math of it and making the mechanics balance out. That took him a while to figure out his system for that. And yeah, that's a lot of fun. That's another game where it's sort of open world. It can be whatever you want it to be, really. So yeah, if you're looking for something a little different, check those out. and my names are in the books. Uh, it's fantastic. I can go, yeah, my name's in D&D, or not D&D products, but in RPG products. Yeah, look at that. Look at me being all fancy, right? Yeah. Gotta get you to autograph some copies. That'd be excellent. I'll autograph a book. Yeah. Yeah, those are both pretty fun games. So check those out if you want to try some different RPGs, tabletop RPGs. There you go. I think we've done three. We've done Haunted West. We've done Archetype and Open Legend RPG. And so now you have a variety of things to try. Yeah. And Archetype might be the game you have to study a little more just because how the tarot deck is used. Um, Sometimes rules take me a while to glom on to, and no matter what the rule system is, I always have to read it multiple times to just get it. Uh, so, am I going to Emerald City Comic Con? I am not. Uh, the next thing I'm probably going to is C2E2, and that is only because I may have a free pass to C2E2. Otherwise, I'm sort of out of going to con money. Yeah, my last con was uh, Gamehole Con in Wisconsin, which was a lot of fun. And I wish I could go to PAX U, but there's just no funds to do that. So yeah, but Gamehole Con. If you can go to Gamehole Con, it's a smaller con. It's a lot of fun, and it's just gaming all around you, and it's fantastic. Beth wanted to go to PAX U. Yeah, yeah. Seems like that would have been a good one to go to this year, but there's no way I can swing that. We live in Seattle, so she gets to go to ECC. Excellent. Oh, that's right. She's doing. Is she doing panels there? Do I have that right? I keep getting emails from BFig, uh, from us going once, like 3 to 4 years ago. Oh, awesome. She is. Yeah. So if you are going to Emerald City Comic Con or know anyone who it is, look for It's Beth the Bard. Look for Beth Stone. She's there. Going to do panels at Emerald City Comic Con. Check it out. Show up. Say hi. While we're plugging friends, why not? Uh, and I know you've told me what BFig is before, and you've had a whole episode on it, Alex. What is BFig again? Because I just can't think of it right now. And is it like Boston Festival of Indie Games? Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I keep getting emails for. Do they keep wanting you to go and say, "Hey, you want to be media for here? Come on in and interview our folks and things like that." And oh, I'm going to tease something again I can't talk about. It'll be brilliant. There's two things coming up. One kind of revolves around convention stuff, and another revolves around being part of a company, possibly. So, yeah, I'll have those to talk about probably in the new year. But yeah, so keep track of those announcements. That'll be a lot of fun. Again, Twitter. I'll announce it on Twitter when I can shout about stuff. It'll be there, and eventually here too, because I'll be like, ah! And it'll be fun. I hope. I think it's mostly update on things they're doing, but it might be cool to go again since now we talk more about video games now as well. Ah, yeah, yeah. Oh, and eyes, yeah. So hopefully, one thing is for sure. The other thing is a little more nebulous. But if both happen, that'll be fun, and maybe I'll, you know, actually get some income again. That'd be fantastic. Uh, yeah, there's a convention around here, the gaming convention I mentioned called Grand Con, and it's okay. It's fun for a day or so, and but yeah, know, play D&D with local people, or they do a bunch of different games. A lot of fun. That's right. My local Comic Con is coming up though, and I have to. Okay, so if you don't know, I'm a big old movie fan, buff. Like I watch silent movies, stuff from 1924, because I find George Millay and uh, the guy that did Metropolis. Um, can't think of his name. Fritz Lang. Uh, yeah, Fritz Lang. I love his stuff, and I mean, when I went to college, I did the program in. I did the film video studies track of communications, and some of that was film theories, and I was in the summer film program, so I learned uh, editing. I learned how to operate a camera, uh, just broadcasting stuff, film stuff, video stuff, and film theory was a big part of that. And so I'm really into uh, stuff by, say, Fritz Lang, and Orson Welles is my absolute favorite person of that. Like Citizen Kane is my top movie ever. It's just brilliant. But I had somewhere to go with this, and I completely lost track of what I was doing. Oh, right. So, my local Comic Con is having a print of the original Nosferatu being shown with live keyboarding accompaniment with it, and I'm like, ooh, I want to go to that. Like, I gotta get a day badge to the con, but I'm gonna go see Nosferatu with people and work. And I really dig the Nosferatu 1922 silent film. If you've never seen it, creepy vampires, yeah, love it. So, but yeah, I will drive to places to see a film, uh, silent film with live accompaniment. There's about 40 minutes away from me is a town that does a Buster Keaton festival every year or so, and so I go to that because that'll have someone playing the organ live, and yeah, I'll do all these things. It's fun. So you put old film live accompaniment, and I'm like, how do I get there? Yeah, and just swinging back around to TTRPGs, if you want creepy vampire stuff, check out Nosferatu. Even if you don't like the movie, just look at the makeup. Look at what they're doing with the how the vampire moves, and just the creepiness of the, the makeup work on there, and everything they do with his powers and things like that. Just even if it's not your jam and you don't like silent movies and their black and white bothers you, whatever. Fast forward, and you want creepy vampire stuff. This is a good source of inspiration for that to put into your games. And it came about as not quite Dracula's story, because the Bram Stoker estate was kind of upset with the Nosferatu people and said, you know what? And they kind of said no, and so uh, they changed the story up a bit, and a lot of prints of Nosferatu were destroyed over that that exchange between the uh, Stoker estate and the people who made Nosferatu. So we're lucky we still have some of those. But yeah, definitely check it out. Make a fantastic job, and yeah, just the check out the movement of the actors. That's great too. That's another thing. If you check out just basically German expressionism, which was in such as in Metropolis, and how people move and how the actors move and their motions and everything is very particular to that idea of the German expressionism. So it's not just that actors did that; they were doing these moves with a purpose behind there, and sometimes that gets lost in translation. So, or just because time has passed, and you know, but yeah, check out Metropolis as well, which is fantastic, and just look at how people move and how the android moves and things like that, and you use those descriptions in your games. I think they'll give you they'll provide you with a different perspective on things than what current cinema would, where it's all a certain type of fast action. We expect certain things, but and just watching movies from other countries is a fantastic thing to do. Just to see how different people move and behave, and watch a Bollywood movie. Uh, they're fantastic, some of them. And a lot of movies are done in a place and a time, and so look up a bit about the culture as well. There's a particular reason anime characters have very large eyes, and uh, spoiler alert, it's because eyes are window to the soul. So believe very large eyes, you have a soul, and that's why a lot of villains in anime will have very narrow eyes, as if they don't have souls, kind of thing is the implication of the art style. Very small, their eyes are much smaller. But if you have big eyes, it's a good person. So yeah, so if you ever watch an anime, look at the eyes, look at your heroes and villains, and see how that applies sometimes. And another thing I sort of picked up on in an anime was that ghosts have no feet. So if you're looking at a person and you're not sure if they're a ghost or not, check their feet. Those kawais, yeah. They, if they seem to be an image, and yeah, I don't know. That was just in one anime I watched, which may have something to do with the ghost myth somewhere. I'm not exactly sure. Let's see here. Yeah, and that brings me to another point. Think about ways that your ghosts and things are separate from other entities. I I like haunted stuff. That's probably why I'm pushing the haunted west, weird west vibe. I like things with ghosts and things like that, and how to present ghosts and what makes them all different. Different myths surrounding around dead returning, and why spirits can't move on, that type of thing. all fascinating stuff to me. I watched Ghost Hunters for a while too, and that was fun. From just like, okay, how do you investigate a haunting? And I can take that stuff and translate it into D&D. Maybe I don't have the the recording equipment and the exact things, but you can magic some of that. You can find other ways to make these things work. And maybe I don't have a white noise generator, but maybe I can work out a setting stone that makes the white noise or something like that. If you don't know, white noise is sometimes used to capture EVP, or electronic voice phenomenon. So you hear it, you ask a spirit to talk or whatever, you don't hear anything, and then upon playback of the thing, you might hear a sample of a voice come through, and it might say something from you. Let's see here. We need a good paranormal, not Call of Cthulhu TTRPG. I'm unaware of any aside from World of Darkness. Yeah, World of Darkness has some good stuff. Oh man, I want new werewolf rules. Okay, that's beside the point. Like that movie with Michael Keaton. That was good. Yes, kind of like that movie with Michael Keaton. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, there's certain recorders and voice recorders I'm talking about here that they claim are a little better for EVP finding because they make a mechanical noise, and then upon playback you can listen for voices, and sometimes you get stuff that your brain recognizes as a voice, saying stuff. And yeah, just play with that stuff in your role playing games too. Like, here's a technique that we use in our real world that is used to check for paranormal things. So grab grab onto that and bring it into your game, and then make it not work. Like, freak the people out. Like, this should work for this thing, and now it doesn't work. And yeah, Oh, I forgot about 10 Candles. 10 Candles is a fantastic game and really, really good. There's a couple really good playthroughs over there. Jen Kretschmer just did one not too long ago on D4, so check that out. That's brilliant. Let's see, what other recommendations do we have? Tales of the Loop, Savage World, Kids on Bikes. Yeah, yeah. 10 Candles is great, and I really want to play it, but to me, it kind of takes a certain mindset and a certain group of people. And some of my friends aren't into horror, and this makes me sad on some levels. So I just really need to find a good group for 10 Candles someday to play it and run it, because that is a great spooky game. And again, I'm going to recommend Haunted West for spooky games. Oh, absolutely. 10 Candles is a game I'd want to play with people I trust and people wanting to play that kind of game. Oh, yeah. Got my copy from the creator at BFIG and got it signed. We had him on Delve years ago. Oh, awesome. That's great. Yeah. So if you haven't played 10 Candles, don't know what it is, look at the D4 VODs, because I'm not coming up with the game. It was only a few weeks ago that they did this. So, yeah, check that out if you want to see how it plays. One moment. Need to drink the Kool-Aid. Literally cherry Kool-Aid. Okay. Um, yeah. But Ten Candles, I'd be really into setting that up someday. If y'all familiar with Ian Van Norman, he ran people through that game and did a phenomenal job. Yep. Yeah. He did. Speaking of Ian Van Norman, he did. What was it? Dread, something like that. I think it was just called Dread. That's another game where it can be really spooky, and it involves kind of a legally distinct Jenga tower, uh, because they couldn't use the word Jenga. Um, and then every action, you had to pull a block, and if the tower fell, bad things happened to you or the party, or you and the party necessarily. I'd be into playing Ten Candles sometime. I love creepy horror stuff. Excellent. Yeah, like Inspectors is sort of my fun horror game, where I do lighthearted because I like the Scooby Doo and the that type of thing, and so I have that kind of horror fun in with Inspectors, and sometimes I do some creepy stuff in there. eh, if you get a game together that is online for 10 candles, I'd love in on it. Okay, I will keep that in mind. Looks like I got, you know, 2, 3 players here, so that'd be fantastic. I will, I will put that in the Rolodex of things to do. Yeah, I want there's a couple games I want to run online, and there's one concept I really want to do that would take. I can play now. Well, I have to read the rules, and have everything prepared because just need to prepare everything. But yeah, so I will also be in the near future running a new game, probably using D&D online, and I want to try something a little different with it. I think it would be the presentation of it would at least be a little different than usual, and that'd be a lot of fun. Now that I'm talking about it, just having talked about using graphics and video tools in different ways, like Ernie Kovacs. Yeah, so that should be pretty cool. Another announcement, kind of, sort of, that may happen. I hope sometime. Yeah. Let's see here. So yeah, well, work on getting a 10 candles game going. Yeah, and 10 candles. When I've seen it played, I never do a long term. It's a one shot thing, or maybe 2 sessions, but I wouldn't want to go more than that because I think extending it just sort of wrecks the atmosphere of it. But it's good for a 3 hour session, 2 3 hours, maybe four even. But yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. Now I'm thinking about this. Okay, so is one shot where you die, like there is no avoiding that from what? Yeah, yeah. There's there's no avoiding uh, death in the game, but you can extend out that death, which uh, I don't think that's necessary for an effective 10 candles game. Yeah, since it's tragic horror, it's 1 2 games. Yep, but you could also really build up to it too. Um, did did you ever play the Doom Eternal TTRPG? I have not. I know nothing about the Doom Eternal TTRPG. I Doom mechanics in a TTRPG space. Interesting. Tell me a little more. Uh, um, mm. I just read my subtitles there, and they said something about I'll be at Walmart instead of tell me a little more, and that amused me. So, PubNub, I love you for subtitles, but sometimes, yeah. If you don't know, I use PubNub for all my subtitly things on stream when I can use subtitles. Some people use Google Meet, so I've done that before too. But right now, I really, really enjoy PubNub. You can find them at that link there. It's completely free. Babylon Honda strikes again, right? That was another subtitle thing where whatever I said translated into Babylon Honda, and so that's definitely a character name now. And if the Honda Corporation ever comes out with something called the Babylon, let me know because they heard it here first, guaranteed. There's no way they would come up with that on their own. You know. Let's see here. Doom Eternal TTRPG. Let's see here. Oh, Critical Role did a one shot. Oh, right. Yes. Okay. Now that you mentioned that, yes. All right. I remember. I remember some of that. Yeah. 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 Because they were doing like a special promotion thing. Yeah. That looked pretty good. Party full of chaotic evil demons. Wow. I've used my time talking about TTRPGs and stuff around there. So yeah, if you guys like this stuff, I can do this far more often. We can talk about gaming and various aspects of it, especially if you have questions around D&D or other TTRPGs or just concepts you like in role-playing games in general. I'll talk about any of it because I probably have an opinion somewhere buried deep in my brain. Let's see what else to do, but we still have some time yet. Almost like you could make a podcast of talking about games, DC. Probably. I mean, I'm preparing a thing in my private little Discord for Ko-Fi members all about Metroid Dread. So, which Metroid Dread, great Metroid game, loved it. And I'll have my complete playthrough up on YouTube. If you go to my YouTube right now, you'll see the first few parts of it. I just gotta actually make the effort and say, hey, Twitch, put these on YouTube for me, please. And then I'll make sure they get tagged and stuff like that. But yeah, put my YouTube in if you want to see that. If you want to see that or parts of it, and please subscribe to my YouTube. I would like to eventually get to a point where I can customize the URL and it's not just this long thing. So my Metroid Dread playthrough is there, and I also have a playlist called the Best Clips, which is some of the weird things that have happened to me while playing video games and some of the strange things I do. Like this, for example. I will post this as well. So this is me. I recorded my intro, And when I started my stream, I played this recording of my intro. I let it stop, and then I come into frame after I'm done. Yep, this is what 20 years in video production has led to. So yeah, check those out. They're fun. You'll laugh at it. It's great. At least I hope, because again, I find stuff funny. I was inspired a bit by you in my recent raid vid. Awesome! I will have to check that out. I don't think I've seen your recent raid vid. Look at me inspiring people to do other things. Yay! And oh, by the way, check out Urban Bohemian and all the stuff he does. Check out Panther Lilycat. Check out Vancouver by Night. And you can check out Alex EXP Limited on Total Pebble Knockdown. Get that up there, which is a great podcast all about video games and opinions on games and everything. That's EXP Limited in my chat right now. So go there. And check out all their wonderful podcast stuff. Because it's all fantastic. And that got a like. Excellent. Excellent. And for our friend Ty, Lame Riot in the chat, we will also put in She is the Ancient, Curse Strahd, because he worked on that with his partner Beth. So we'll put that in. Oh, I muted the stream to watch your video link. Did you just plug TPK? Yes, I plugged Total Pebble Knockdown. What we do in Barovia. Yes. What we do in Barovia. Yes, I plugged Total Pebble Knockdown. Or TPK, as you abbreviate it. But yeah, so check all these fantastic things out, because there's a lot of fantastic people in here, and they deserve likes and follows and their work being checked out. It's all pretty fantastic stuff. I should know. I've watched it, or I've read it, or I've seen it. Yes. So you have an endorsement, like a DC thumbs up or something. Much easier to say TPK. Plus, branding. Yeah, but I like saying Total Pebble Knockdown because it makes it, apart from Total Party Kill, which is probably my favorite thing. And I also like the words Total Pebble Knockdown. So amazing. So yeah, check out all these fun and amazing people that are in my chat, and I'm grateful that they're all here. It's fantastic seeing you all, and thank you everyone for joining me. Is it cool if I give Jay a shout? Oh yeah, give Casual a shout out too. What do we need plugged from Casual, or just his Twitter? Will 10 Candle be a total party kill, maybe with Oh yeah. So another friend we would like to give a shout out to is J Casual or Just Too Casual. He also was in. He was in The Curse of Strahd. Uh, she is the Ancient game that was on Gilding Light. So yeah, check out all stuff that they are doing because it's fantastic. And he's making an anime urban fantasy TTRPG. So when that comes out, we'll make sure to give that a plug. But yeah, he's got a great voice, great look, um, good perspectives on things. So check out his work. They are doing some great stuff. Let's see here. Anything else we can talk about as I wrap up? Because that's my 2 hours of my day, and I gotta do some stuff today. Got clips to look through, YouTube videos to upload. Resident Evil one shot on Friday. It was really good. Nice. Let's see. Just looking to see what else I can talk about briefly with the time I have left. So we've covered a lot of ground today, starting off on D&D and running a gamut of stuff. If you like this content, please, by all means, so hit the subscribe button down below or go to my Ko-Fi, Coffee, however you want to say it. I'm fine with anyway. But go there, check it out. Ko-Fi.com/Hadomancer, exclamation point Ko-Fi in my chat. And yeah, you can send me some love over that way too. That'd be excellent. Thank you. Because right now, this is my only source of income. So it'd be fantastic. Let's see here. What else can I do? So stop by Gilding Light this Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/Gilding Light for another one shot that I am DMing and producing. It's some of the Inspectors cast and a couple of guests will be doing an all Dragonborn one shot. Yay! All Dragonborn. It'll be fun. That's over at twitch.tv/Gilding Light. There we go. And check out all the wonderful programming on Gilding Light because I produced most of it. And so, of course, I'm going to call it wonderful. Why wouldn't I? And let's see here. That's weird. A new Dragon book just came out. Yes. Yes. Fizzbands. Dragon book. I'm highly encouraging all my players to use Fizzbands Dragon board things. How about that? Yeah, who would have thunk? So yeah, I don't know if anyone will use the Fizzband options, but those are available to them. Should they? Fizzband's Treasury of Dragons is the name specifically for the D&D book. But yeah, check that out. There's a lot of great Dragonborn options in there, and a lot of great dragon things. Let's see here. Yeah. I also moderate on a bunch of Twitch channels, so come by, say hi. I'll say hi back. It'll be fun. I'll be like, hi, and you'll be, hi, and yeah, we can go from there. It's a thing. And, I got to point the right way for everybody here. There we go. So, right up there, Ambassador for Jasper's Game Day for 2022. Jasper's Game Day is a nonprofit that is dedicated to suicide prevention. So you can type !you matter in chat and get all those resources that you need, you might need, or feel free to copy all of that and send it out to anyone that might need those resources. That just make those available to whoever you can. It's very important. And I will be doing charity games throughout next year, 2022, for Jasper's Game Day. So stay tuned to my Twitter to find out when and where those are. I'll have a few will be on my channel here. Do you have any commission services or the like? Also, you do, DC? Why, yes. I am very hireable as a producer for your stream, or if you want someone to run a game, I'm also hireable to do that as well. And if it's charity, uh, send me a message. We can cooperate on that thing. Let's see. And on my Ko-Fi, you also have various monthly subscription tiers that get you access to certain things. And when you join the Discord, you'll be assigned the whatever you signed up for on the Ko-Fi and get you in there. So yeah. And also, if you don't, if you have, if you want to get into producing, you can also hire me. I will help you figure out OBS and anything like that, or teach you just about what I do to produce and how to produce your own stream and getting that together. So yeah, I'm all very hireable for all of that. So you can reach out to me if you don't want to get a hold of me on Ko-Fi. Go to my Twitter, give me a send me a message via Twitter, and I'm going to have to take you up on that. Yeah, by all means. I will talk about pricing, and because I have my rates, but I'm willing to work with you on rates because hey, I understand current economy. Yeah, so yeah, I'm very hireable as a producer or for teaching you about production. I'll do either. Be fantastic. We'll have a good time. Or yeah, and I can also talk to you about community stuff and specifically more on the moderation end of things and what to do to sort of protect your community and make sure you're okay on platforms such as Twitch as well. We'll go over that stuff too, as well as everything you need to kind of get OBS up and running. And a lot of what I will show you in OBS will apply to many other programs because there's they work in a similar way. There'll be some differences, but once you get some of the basic things down in OBS, I go with OBS first mainly because it's free and it's excellent. Uh, yeah, those skills are easily translatable into a few other programs too. So you don't have to feel locked into OBS. You can, just a little bit of work you can adjust and move on to other platforms should you prefer something else like XSplit or Streamlabs OBS. Because I've known people that are successful using uh, all those platforms, but I will always highly encourage OBS and just taking the time to learn OBS Studio. Yeah, and so yeah, by all means, uh, contact me if you need any of that. I will be more than glad to figure out pricing. And like I said, I'm very hireable right now, so please hire me for things. It'll be great. Trust me. And I don't have to wear the cat ears unless you really want the cat ears during what we're doing. Yeah, I mean, imagine that. You know, me without multiple ears. I don't know what that looks like anymore. Cat ears are extra, right? Cat ears are an add-on tier. Um, I love that. Cat ears as an add-on tier, right? It's like a Kickstarter, right? You get the base thing for like $50, and then for an extra 25, cat ears. This amuses me way too much. Anyway, so I'll be back tomorrow, which we have quite a few people here, so yay! Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. Definitely start off with some talking and keep going. Like I said, if you want to talk about TTRPGs or D&D or anything around that, please bring those questions in tomorrow. I'll be more than happy to talk about it, and share experiences, all that type of thing. I'm here Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. We're on Pacific Standard Time now, so yeah. Daylight saving is over. So 11 a.m. Pacific to 2 p.m. or 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern is when I start, Monday through Fridays. I usually end about, as you can see up there in my clock, 4 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, come on by. I'll be here, and maybe play a game. Or everyone seemed to enjoy talks like this, so we'll probably do more of these as well. So come on by again. I have to go because I need to do some YouTube things. Have to eat dinner, and is there email? Oh yeah, type in the emails. Yeah. All right. So thank you all so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Thank you all. Oh, you know what? I should do something because everyone was here. The screen will be black, but we should still do it because I was talking about it. Uh, yeah, we can start in some profile. Let's see here. Game view. Yeah. All right. Hey, you. Today was really good. Did a good job today. It's fantastic. Talked about a lot of things. Did a lot of things. Talked about D&D. Expressed opinions. It was great. And really good job. Let's do this again tomorrow. And ready for the Cell 5? I think so. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Cell 5! Yeah! All right. So how could I deprive anyone of the Cell 5, right? Uh, so thank you all once again for watching. You need a thinking chair backdrop. I do. I need a thinking chair backdrop. Ooh, would Crave be interested in making me a thinking chair backdrop? Cell 5 is why I show up. Excellent. uh, yeah, let me know prices on such a thing, and yeah, we'll work something out. She lolled and said, "Sure, excellent. Okay, I might have to wait a little bit before I can afford things, but yeah, definitely definitely do that. That sounds great time. Anyway, thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to come on in, say hi, listen to me ramble, and thank you to everyone that typed up in chat. And if you're here lurking, that was great too. I appreciate just you existing in the same space as me, along with me, and on this little ride of a stream. It's been great today. Thank you so much. And yeah, I hope you have a good evening. And please be kind to yourself, be kind to others. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.